Hi there. We're back with part 3 with 3 more ColecoVision games. Let's go check it out. Okay, and here we're back with Galaxian. Galaxian are otherwise called Gyruss. It came out in 1979 in the arcades and was produced by Namco Midway. Namco brought it out in Japan, and Bally Midway, actually brought it out in Northern America. It's a shooter, a vertical shooter, that is very similar to Galaga. I always confuse the two. It's very similar to Space Invaders. Space Invaders had a black and white screen, but it faked colors by a mirror and projecting the black and white image on top of a multicolored background, which really made the game look stunning, actually. What also made this game look stunning is the fact that RGB colors were used in the tube that actually could produce a lot of different colors. And the game is quite similar to Space Invaders, just because the aliens move left and right on the top of the screen. They kind of hug the screen. What is missing is the 3 bases, and basically there are swarms of aliens that actually attack you. And what's also quite amazing is the fact that it actually has a background tune, or somewhat of a background tune going on. I think this is one of the first video games that actually features something like that in the arcade. And it's one of those single screen arcade games that really set the standard back in the day, like games like Dig Dug, Pac-Man, Gyruss, which I actually am going to take a look at a little later on. Those games really were amazing, and this game is among one of my favorites. And I'm not sure. I don't think there was a Galaga out for the ColecoVision, and let's see how I do here. Basically, you have these super motherships that you can actually take down and multiply your firepower with. Or was that with a Galaga? I always forget. Something about the hardware that it's running on. It's actually running on a Z80 processor, running at 3.072 megahertz. And I think there was 2-player support, but that actually made the players take turns. It's not that 2 players could play simultaneously. And I really love this game, and I hope you guys do too. I think this is also one of the must-have for the ColecoVision system, and it's a good port. This PAL version is a bit slower than the NTSC game, but it's all in all, it's a great shooter, and very much worth playing. And as you can see, I'm not very good at it. I just Let's go check out the other game that actually is very similar to this one. Okay, and we're back with Gyruss, which was developed by Konami, and it was released in 1983. Initially in the arcade, but it received a ton of home ports, including the Atari 2600. And this version on the ColecoVision is actually quite a good one. This and Time Pilots. Both are excellent games, and both are actually programmed by the same programmer, Yoshiki Okamoto. And basically both are actually running on the same arcade hardware. What else? Well, it's the game is actually quite similar to that of Galaxian and Galaga. But what is different is the fact that the whole playing field is warped in some sort of 3D cylinder type thing, very reminiscent of that what you can find in Tempest. I'm not sure if Tempest actually was later than this game. May have been. That was a vector graphics game. Yeah, basically, like in Galaga and Galaxians, you have enemies that fly down towards you, hurling their bullets at you, and you have to shoot up and you have to destroy them. And what makes this game more interesting is that there's actually a thing that is called a power-up. It's actually one of the first games that actually has power-ups like this. Yeah, you destroy the satellite and then you get a twin shot, and that's actually more powerful. Also, the attack patterns of the aliens is somewhat predictable, or actually quite predictable. If you know the patterns, you can position your spaceship in such a way that you'll be able to shoot down all the spaceships and get a maximum score. And yeah, what's also quite interesting is the fact that there's change stages where you actually can ramp up more, score a higher score. And what is fun is actually that it's sometimes quite possible to get a perfect score like I'm doing right now. Yeah, the fun thing is that you actually fly towards the center of the solar system. I think the purpose is not to reach Earth, which I am always trying to do, but you actually have to fly beyond Earth and reach the center of the solar system. Not sure why. You know, that's the thing. And of course, when you approach Uranus, it's always fun to make jokes about that. Commodore 64 version is actually quite a good one. There's an 8-bit Atari version that's actually not as good as the ColecoVision version. The Atari 5200 actually received a port, and the version on the Atari 2600 is actually something to behold, because it's actually quite playable, remarkably playable for such a limited machine. So yeah. Oh, a quick note, the version on the Nintendo is actually quite different. I played that also. There's a video on that. They have end stage bosses. They changed the music, which is also quite interesting in this game. So yeah, a must-have for the system, and yeah, definitely one of my favorites. There's a good version on the GBA as well. So yeah, let's go check out another classic. Okay, and here we are with Pac-Man. This is actually a game that I'm running from a flash card because it actually is an unreleased prototype. Yeah, not sure why they didn't release it, because it's a very good game, a very good port. It actually, the layout is actually quite similar to the layout that you will find on the Commodore 64 and the Atari 8-bit home computer ports. And yeah, it plays very similar. And yeah, Pac-Man, I mean, it's the well, it's the video game that a lot of people, even grandmothers, grandfathers, know what that is a video game, and not something else. And yeah, it was released in 1980 in the arcade. It spun a ton of sequels like Miss Pac-Man and Junior Pac-Man. It was released on virtually every computer system and console system out there. And also, there's just a ton, I mean, really a ton of unauthorized bootlegs and clones, even in the arcade, but also on home computer systems. Even I, myself, was programming a Pac-Man clone on the Commodore 64. For some reason, a maze game like this is actually a very nice way to learn how to program a game. Have the main program loop, you know, collision detection, the AI for the ghosts. I mean, you can easily program ghosts that just home in on you. relentlessly, but that makes the game unplayable because I mean, you know, going after the Pac-Man character in a very logical, you know, straightforward way actually makes them home in, and yeah, will basically allow you not to play the game. So you have to make the ghosts a bit stupid. And that's quite a challenge, how to make the ghosts a bit stupid and let them make mistakes or make them have blind spots, and so that you can actually win the game. And yeah, true Pac-Man players actually memorized all the patterns from all the grids, all the levels, and they know the safe places in the safe spots in the maze, so they can really keep on going. Yeah, if I have to choose between Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man is actually, well, a very nice sequel, then I will just almost invariably choose Miss Pac-Man over Pac-Man because it's just a tad more interesting. Pac-Man is a bit boring, in my opinion, but still one of my favorites, but a bit more boring than Miss Pac-Man. What is also quite a good Pac-Man version is Pac-Mania, which is also released in the arcade, but also a ton of other platforms. And yeah, with me just babbling on, I oh, yeah yeah no yeah, it's not the way to play Pac-Man. So sadly, this was not released on a cartridge, on a real cartridge on the ColecoVision. But if you own a flash cartridge like I do, you can actually play this game, which was unreleased, on the real ColecoVision like that. And yeah, I would love for this to be released as a, you know, a, how do you say that, a re-release or you know, a reproduction, just because it's very nice to have a cartridge like this with this game on it. Yeah, great must-have game, and yeah, well, you know, it's actually no use talking much more about this. Not sure actually if this version of Pac-Man actually also features a 256 split screen level that just corrupts the graphics and makes the game unplayable when you are at the 256th level. Not sure if that is actually also programmed into this. Pac-Man, you always see record attempts at Pac-Man on the arcade, but I'm not sure about record attempts on the home ports. Should be quite interesting. Not sure if actually the home ports feature the same type of you know, patterns of the ghosts that you can memorize. They may be more random, I'm not sure. But yeah, just an awesome game. And as you can see, I'm not ramping up a nice high score. I'm just failing miserably. And not sure what I was doing there with the blue ghost. For some reason, this Pac-Man is, if you turn a corner in most Pac-Man versions, you just get killed because the ghost will actually be able to reach you, you know, when it's coming around the corner. And in this game, you kind of escape more than in the other versions. But yeah, I really can't fathom why this wasn't officially released on the ColecoVision, because it's a great port. Whoops. It's quite a tough game. I mean, my the standard way of playing this. I'm not very familiar with all the patterns. I just love to play this game, but I'm actually quite rubbish at it. I'm actually quite good at Miss Pac-Man, but yeah, if I'm not sure what I was saying, but it's a bit late, and I'm I've been playing a ton of Colecovision games here. Oh, yeah, that's funny. He loses part of his sheet. And let's see if I can get to 20,000 points, perhaps actually get an extra life. Oops, well, I got 20,000 points, no extra life, and it's game over for me, and I'll be back with another video.